Hey guys, it's Adrienne Teague here with Strategic again. I wanted to pop on and tell you just really quickly about a recent client that I've worked with and give you a little bit of rundown on what we do when we're talking about interim talent gap fulfillment. So when teams have vacancies, we typically know what happens. That's usually at the director or assistant associate director level. And those are really the positions that do a lot of the legwork and the arm lifting to get our fundraising and engagement initiatives out the door. So typically when we see turnover in that level, be it by someone got promoted and they left a vacancy behind, or they took another position at a different organization, whatever the cause, or even maybe like short-term interim departures, like maternity or paternity leave, or short-term disability leave or family medical leave, any sort of thing like that, where you have a hole for a concerted period of time. So we know on average to go through a complete cycle with all the processes, especially if you're at a state institution in higher ed, it's usually about a 2 to 4 month gap if you are not using a search firm to go through the process of posting the position, trying to hire, do all the things to bring on and onboard your new teammate. But you're really looking about 6 months worth of work by the time that you've gone through your search process, made an offer, onboarded a new teammate, and then they're ready to go for success. If you use a search firm, it could be faster or a little bit longer, just depending on what your objectives are in going that route. So if you imagine there's this period of time where teams go through not having a full-time employee to really kind of concertedly put forth effort to help carry projects and programs forward. And when we are talking about things like an annual fund program, fall appeals, calendar year ends, giving days, or we're talking about an essential position like an advancement communicator or an alumni communications position, those are sort of essential duties that cannot not be done. So we know we constantly have to be fundraising in order to support the students that we are serving. We have to get communications out the door. Otherwise, our ability to be able to fundraise in the digital space, as well as continue to foster and cultivate engagement of both alums and donors, parents, whatever constituents you're trying to reach out to, those are really critical and essential roles. And so what we find, what I've experienced in my own personal career, is that the head of a department or the head of a division will come around and really try to figure out how do they divide up those essential duties. And they'll ask each member remaining on their team, hey, can you pick up this? Can you pick up that? Well, we know, especially post-pandemic, that burnout is at its highest. We also know that higher education is really working to try to bring its practices, especially in the space of human resources, recruitment, retention, morale, back into more of a modern day approach. So things like hybrid work and those sorts of nuggets that we offer our workforce to keep them happy, we're still trying to figure out and navigate, and how do we do that on our collegiate campuses when we know that the impact of the work that we're doing physically exists there in our student communities. So back to my point. Leaders will go around, managers will go around, they'll try to figure out who can take what, where do the professional expertise lie, so on and so forth. And what you have is we're already coming in post-pandemic with individuals and personnel overworked. When we went to a pandemic model, we were asking our workforce to learn new ways on how to do their jobs, learn how to do them in completely different environments. And all of this with the landscape of what is happening ahead of us, what is happening to this enrollment decline that we're about to see. How is tuition dollars, how are those going to be impacted? And how does the import of what we are doing continue to rise? Because we know that we've got to offset some of those, revenue dollars. So we're already burnt out. We get asked, hey, can you add one more thing to your plate? And what we know is that one more thing, or those two more things, or however you're slicing and dicing it, really impact the morale, and they cause burnout to go through the roof. And what can essentially happen is that not only do you have this vacancy that you are hurriedly trying to fill, and you're also burning out your team for 2 to 6 months, depending, on where you are and what you're trying to achieve with your recruitment process. And then you just have a workforce and a team culture that is maxed out. Not only are they trying to do their full-time job, but they are also trying to carry the load of another position that's vacant. And we have seen this sort of increase when that happens. After about 3 months, another position comes open. And so now instead of recruiting for one person, you're one position, you're recruiting for two or more. And so the cycle goes on and on and on. It's hard to keep our rock star workforce with us. So what we do here at Strategic is actually help to put all of that fear and all of those things that make you worry about what I just described to the side. We actually come in, we provide top class. I personally have served on a senior leadership level, both in engagement and fundraising annual giving space. So we come with the expertise of knowing how to do the job already. We also come with a litany of myriad of different systems. We know how to sort of provide turnkey solutions as it relates to marketing, fundraising, engagement, comms, whatever you have, we can assist in that. So we provide like this nice silky blanket of sorts that allows you to have really top class talent coming in, filling the gap, working as a member of your team for the period of time that you're going through recruitment. We're shielding the rest of your team. We're preventing burnout. We are helping you to keep your projects and your programs afloat and on course to be met, which ultimately helps you meet your goals at the end of the day. And so by doing that, you're able to retain your workforce, you're able to go to recruitment, you're able to keep your board happy, your executive team happy, your presidents and your chancellors happy, all by being able to meet your goals and objectives, even during these periods of time of transition. And so here's an example of what we have done. So one of our very first clients called us up and they had a vacancy in their advancement communications role. And then they also were going through a position transition with their annual giving director. So they were approaching the fall semester, had really no way to do digital fundraising without burdening the team that was already there in place. So we came in, studied up on their brand guidelines, studied up on their campaign case statement, studied up on impact stories, and really were paying attention to what was happening in university news. We sat down, we planned out a fall appeal with them, we planned out a calendar year-end appeal with them. We were a part of their giving or day of giving team, and really helped to turn the solution from strategy and what they wanted to achieve and help them reach their overarching goals, and just do the work to get it done. And so here were some of those results that we did. We worked with this particular client for 6+ months. So we're hoping that, a lot of you have a little bit more success and are able to bring on people a little bit quicker. But here's a little bit about what we did to really kind of help them achieve their goals. So when we approached the fall appeal, we saw that funds in terms of dollars went up by 9% with our work. We were also able to increase their recent graduate and younger donor giving by 20%, which is really great. That was one of their sort of sub-level goals that they were looking to engage different demographics. In addition to that, we saw an increase of 29% in alumni giving. So that was huge because we used a segmented approach that really spoke to especially alumni and reunion years, but then also harked back and pulled some nostalgia into the piece itself, helping to increase that particular engagement and donor acquisition. And then we moved into sort of the calendar year-end season of giving program, helping to develop a calendar that was more comprehensive than just one appeal as we approached December 31st. So working with them, we started donations, fundraising activities in November, and we saw a 100% increase from the year prior, just in helping them be able to have that additional muscle to get the work done and to be able to successfully fundraise. And then finally, as we moved into the spring, their day of giving happened in March. And so we helped to put forth and build out their day of giving site. So a complete story with different challenge hours, opportunities for advocates to come in, volunteers to be able to help provide resources on communications toolkits, how to use social media successfully, all of those sorts of things. We helped to create and package that for them in a digital space that was easily navigable. And then by doing that, also assisting with day of communications and all of the yay, win, result stories that happen on social media and beyond throughout the day, we saw that we brought in over $8,000 towards their custom crowd-funded projects and programs. And then we were along the ride assisting with the calendar year-end giving. So that was just really, really wonderful to help them. And I say calendar year-end, I meant fiscal year-end, but it was really, really wonderful to sort of see their program not just move forward, but move forward with successes and grow, which is what we're asked to do year over year. And so if this is you, if you find the story resonates with you, if you are a team member and you don't have decision-making authority, it's cool. Forward this video along to whoever your manager, supervisor, division, department leader is, and say, hey, check this out. And they're welcome to reach out to me. All consultations are free, and I'm happy just to share a little bit more about what we're able to do with different clients. And if you have questions on how we could fit into your team strategically in the meantime, we're happy to discuss that with you. There's no obligation as you have those conversations. But if you are a manager, if you're a key decision maker, a hiring manager, I encourage you to reach out to us. We are not only affordable, we're efficient, and you get warmth and not just a cookie cutter approach to how to do your job better. You actually feel like you have a temporary teammate who's helping you through these really periods of time that can be very challenging for you and your staff, to help you just kind of patch the gap in the ship so that you can bring on your next crew member. And we actually assist with onboarding those individuals. So we will hand off projects, programs, all of those sorts of things, and help to make sure that your next teammate is set up for success and that everything is seamless from the moment you bring us on to the moment that we onboard and help that new team member. For us, we also have very quick onboarding. It's about a week and a half process where we just get all of the information from you so that we not only understand your processes and your systems, your chains of command, your decision-making chains, all of that sort of thing, but we also really take the time to understand the ethos that is your organization, your institution at large. And then we drill down and we understand what's the ethos of your team. What are you trying to achieve? And so we are so happy to be able to help our client to have a wonderful year in annual giving and fundraising, as well as a nice compliment on their communication strategy, as we helped with some alumni engagement communication support as well. So we look forward to having a conversation with you, and we just wish you all the success as you get ready to launch this particular academic year, welcome your students back and get those fall appeals out the door. So as always, happy fundraising, happy engagement, everyone. And we hope that you'll hit us up. Check out the description or the comments below for details on how to be in touch. Thanks so much. Take care.